The sex tips for men, how to have a better sex life. What is good for you? In the movies, sex always look great, but if you are like a lot of men, sex may not be as good as you think it could be. You might feel anxiety, concerns about your performance, or even self-concerns about your body. No matter what the scenario, it just feel like you are not having sex as often as everyone else. An Ohio State University study found young men think about sex about 19 times per day, as compared to young women who think about 10 times daily. Despite it being on men's mind much of the time, men still remain confused about what great sex is and how to have it. Men face both mental barriers and physical barriers to get sex. They may be plagued with self-doubt and cling on to myths and misconception about sex. Physically, many men could use some work on the mechanic of lovemaking. And what is great sex? Great sex is in the hands of the beholder. For some men, it might be the ability to produce fantabulous multiple orgasm in their partners. For the other men, it might mean being able to last 3 minutes. Being a great lover means becoming a great lover to your particular partner, and that requires doing something very difficult, opening your mouth. Men may talk a good game when it comes to sex, but most don't think the sex they have is good as it could be. The following are the tips to great sex in a relationship for more sexual pressures. And number 1, take up pillow talk. Pillow talk is important. Aside from kissing and other sexual activities, men can use their mouth for talking to their partner about what they want and what their partner likes. It is about being open and trusting. If you get to know yourself and your partner, you will have a much more erotic and explosive sexual relationship. And number 2, don't believe locker room talk. Men may brag to friends and exaggerate the frequency of their sexuality activities, but unlike the result is that men create distorted pictures of sexual frequency and prowess for themselves and one another. A lot of men wind up thinking that their sex life is missing something, that other men are having wilder sex or more frequent sex. They have a sense that the pressure ship has sailed and left them behind. Number 3, don't compare your sex life with porn. Unfortunately, men may lean a lot on what they know about sex from pornography. The problem with that is women and men who appear in porn are often in great physique shape, in a great physical shape. Both women and men are well endowed, which can create unrealistic expectation. One of the most destructive myths of porn is that it is it convinces so many guys that they are too small. They forget that pornography is self-selecting. These are not average men. They are the extreme end of the scale. Other myth men may learn from pornography include the idea that women are always ready for sex, that the same moves work on every partner all the time, and that sex always ends in orgasm. Porn isn't all bad. It can give men idea for sexual exploration and fun scenarios to enjoy with their partners. As long as you are aware that it is not reality, it is like watching a car chase in an action movie. It is exciting, it is entertaining, but everyone knows it is not the way to drive, and the men should be aware of the dangers of porn addiction. And number 4, focus on pleasurable sensation. Stress, anxiety, and distraction can lead to less satisfying sex. Leave the stress of the job at work and minimize your anxiety about your performance. If we can quiet out monkey mind, put a stop to that ceaseless inner chatter, we can open ourselves up to better sex. There are techniques ranging from eye gazing to massage and synchronized breathing that help keep you in the moment. Great sex happens in the present. It doesn't happen in the future, like worrying about how quickly you are going to come. Tip number 5, focus less on size and more on other matters. When it comes to penis size, men always hear that size doesn't matter to women. While this may be the case for most, it is not so much about having the biggest penis as it is fitting with your partner. I am not going to pretend it doesn't matter. There are plenty of women for whom it absolutely does, but I prefer to focus on the idea of the right fit. People come in all shapes and sizes, and some fit better with each other. For many women, average size men are the best fit. This is usually a matter of personal preference. However, it is not something to get caught up in and worry about. Focus on foreplay, kissing, caressing, and other ways of keeping pressure that can lead to satisfying sex for men and women of all shapes and sizes. Don't forget to talk to your partner too. A lot of women are very responsive to a man's voice during love making. If a man has a verbal facility and can entice a woman through his voice, that can become a powerful part of his repertoire. And tip number 6, you should schedule sex. Sex. It may sound mundane to schedule sex, but it can actually make it more relaxing, with both partners having more realistic expectations. There is this powerful methodology that says you should fall into each other's arms spontaneously, with string music playing and the sun setting in the west. And if that doesn't happen, there is something wrong with you. That is nonsense. Real life doesn't work that way. Scheduling sex can also eliminate conflict over desire differences and remove the pressure to perform. People say that if I am not in the mood, well, one of the things about relation is that you sometimes make compromises. Yeah, that's true. But what astonishes people once they start scheduling sex is that they can actually enjoying it. And this tool does not provide substitute for medical advice. If you have any problem, just talk to your doctor. And thank you for watching. Thank you. Consider subscribing, hit that notification, and comment.